Hello everybody, welcome to this Good Vibrations reading for the week of October 1st, 2017. Hallelujah! I think that we're moving into some lighter energy. Of course, I, as a reader, because I'm a channel for this message, for those who choose to watch this, of course, this is like the high season for me because I'm a Libra rising. So as I'm recording this, in the coming days, it'll be, I think this week, that the sun is going to cross over my rising point sign, my ascendant in my natal chart. And I know that to be a time of tremendous harvest, and like it's the page turner. It's when a new journey is beginning. And so I always feel this culmination energy right before that happens, when the sun lights up my soul line, basically. So as a reader, I feel like I'm translating some of my excitement and my feeling of, good things to come as I'm doing this reading for this week. Okay, so our symbol is Capricorn 8. All right, first of all, Capricorn energy, achievement, groundedness, getting things done, especially in our workplace. Capricorn's very focused on climbing the ladder and achieving good pay and things of that nature. So the feeling I get is this week is about those sort of earthly parts of life. A lot of my readings lately have felt incredibly heavy, and kind of like one of the symbols recently was about coal miners coming up from, the depths of the mine. And I feel like that's where we've been for a long time. And we're in Libra energy now. And we'll be here for a few weeks in October. So let's take advantage of this time as kind of a reset. Libra, generally speaking, is very happy energy. It's totally focused on harmony and relationships and can everybody just kind of get along. So that vibe is in the air, and this week we have the Capricorn earth energy added to the air, the mental aspect of Libra. So Capricorn, achieving, pushing ahead, but achieving in terms of creating balance, all right, and creating harmony. That's particularly why I love this time of the year. Is there's just, we have to come to a place at some point in the year where we can just feel a sense of getting our ducks in a row and kind of evening things out and not having necessarily to push ahead on anything. So even though Capricorn is the high achiever, the overachiever, really, of the zodiac, it's tempered by this strong Libra energy because the sun is in Libra right now. So we just have to know that this is about harmonization, and it isn't a time to like beat your chest and to make things happen. And we have plenty of other times in the year for that. But hallelujah, I just love this symbol. In a sunlit home, domesticated birds sing joyously. This is about enjoyment, plain and simple. And the indication of birds means spirit. So that is kind of your inner spirit, feeling like it can really be known and kind of lead you. Your team is probably more present now with you. Your team's always present with you. But in terms of, really helping you with the day-to-day, your team right now with this symbol here is really trying to point you in the direction of finding joy, of really looking to a sense of contentment. That word is very important in my life these days. It's become kind of my new mantra. So just think about, where in life could you be feeling an immediate sense of contentment this week? no work needed. And the reality of the situation is it's actually is probably in quite a few areas of your life. But as humans, we tend to be focused on that achieving nature. We were brought up like that, most of us. So we always want to be better. We always want to do more. We always want to make somebody's day before they've even asked us to. And perhaps they've never asked for our help, but we just want to like pitch in and we want to make it easier. And we want to show teamwork and we want to improve in all areas of our life. So that's a very natural component of the human experience on earth. But for this week, this is about you embracing an achieving sense of harmony and joy and contentment and just being okay with the way things are and taking the time for yourself. I feel like I have not said this in a reading in so long, and it shocks me because these are good vibration readings. I am your cheerleader to bring you messages of refocusing, diverting our attention to what brings us joy. And I feel like I haven't had a chance, the energy hasn't been there for us to focus in that way. It's felt really heavy, and I, for one, am really pleased to see the energy move in this direction. And again, I get these Sabian symbols through dowsing with my pendulum using charts that I have. There are 360 symbols, so what an awesome symbol for us to have for this week. I'm going to read this again. In a sunlit home, domesticated birds sing joyously. And again, the bird reference is your spirit. That is your freedom. That is your freedom of choice to see things as always working out for you instead of the negative or that things are always hard and things are out, people disappoint me and I can't get enough done in enough time. It's like not enough, disappointment, frustration, those kinds of things. That's not where spirit is focused. Spirit is focused on this singing joyously. And especially, I want to say for this week too, because of this symbol, your home can be such a place of healing and light and inspiration. And it takes your concentrated effort and awareness to make it that way. But I want to say that every home has the ability to carry this kind of energy, but you do have to put the work in to see it in that way and to create a space that allows you to feel like it's a sunlit home and there's bird song in the air, and you have beautiful things around you, and they don't have to cost a lot of money. They just are your things, and that makes them beautiful. They're meaningful to you, and that's all that matters. And just that can be enough to raise the vibration of this space where we spend so much of our time. So even this weekend, what can you do before I've even turned over a single card? What this weekend could you do where you could raise the vibration of the home, the four walls that you spend all this time in, especially on the weekends? Even picking up clutter, that adds tremendously to the vibration of a home. So picking up clutter, doing a little cleaning, really cleaning out, tidying up, lighting some candles, turning the lights off. Maybe you have dinner by candlelight, even if it's just little tea lights that are on the floor, all surrounding you in a big circle. Isn't that beautiful? Like, just think about that. Making yourself a cup of tea and cuddling up under a blanket. Little things that you can do to bring a sense of comfort and joy. I sound like Christmas here. Comfort and joy. That's what it's about this week. Thank God. I am so ready for a week like this. All right, let's get into it. So the first card up is from the Andorra crystal deck. This is the back of it, the card, which shows an up-close version of the crystal that's featured. And we have Andarian raspberry. So I'll show this to you here. Isn't that pretty? Oh, and I just love, raspberries are my very favorite fruit. I just love their decadence and their structure is so intricate and beautiful and soft and kind of vulnerable. It's sort of like a little cup, like a little perfect chalice that the fairies would use, it's just a perfect fruit. I love it. So I'm going to read this to you and we'll see what pops out. Gentle yet strong, I infuse you with the element of water to assist you in flowing with the rhythms of nature, the seasons, and life. Death and rebirth are a part of life. I encourage you to do a life review and purge yourself of old limiting beliefs and stories that are holding you back from living in your glory. Become the person you want to be. Reinvent yourself from the inside out. The energy and resources are available to lift yourself from the ashes and to emerge as the powerful light being you truly are. Wow. What a powerhouse message for you who chose this card. So I want to say I just finished my monthly readings for October for those people that ordered them. And I was telling some of the people it was applicable to. October is actually the month when we start the energies for 2018 because this is harvest season. This is like the turning over of the soil. And so we're kind of cleaning up the garden and getting ready for the big energy that's coming. And with one of my clients, I was talking about this and I realized that 2018, if you add those numbers up, they actually add up to 11. And we do not reduce 11 in numerology to a 2. Normally, I had thought, oh, of course, it's going to be a 2 year because we've just gone through a 1 year. But I actually hadn't stopped to think long enough to do the math that it's 11. And 11 is the first of the mastery numbers. It is coming into concert with bringing your consciousness, your higher self, into your body more and more and more and beginning to live life on earth as it is in heaven. It's actually bringing heaven to earth and realizing how much is going so well for us and seeing the joy in all these moments. And I'm feeling that with this card for you. And the piece about becoming the person that you want to be. This is a time, I also did a soul love letter for somebody just now. This is a time that, as I said in that letter, it's a perfect moment to kind of review. And this card mentions life review, which I know to happen when we pass on. I've been given that over and over and over through animals and humans and everything. Very joyous time of kind of looking at your life like a storybook that's animated. It's beautiful. There's no judgment there. You're just sort of reflecting on all that you've learned in the life and saying, yeah, I could have taken a different path there and it maybe would have been easier. But still, I did learn something out of that, and I gained a lot from that experience. And you start to see how everything in your life is purposeful. And you can do life review in the flesh, too. You don't have to wait till you die to do it. You certainly can always take time, and now is a great time, particularly in these first 3 weeks of October, before we get to the very intense energy of Scorpio, around the 21st, 22nd. Great time to kind of do this review of how life has turned around and how things have evolved. And even if you just look at this year so far, this is a 1 year, it's a beginning of a new cycle. Likely many of us had many starts in a different way. Parts of us were called forward that have never been called forward before. And it's worth reflection on that, particularly as these 2018 energies start up this month. It's like the wheels are a-turning. The energy's getting built, the momentum. So it's early, but that's good. It's never too early to kind of take a look back and see, okay. And as I was saying in the client's soul love letter that I mentioned, that I just did, it's really valuable to then take this time after you've looked back to look forward, almost in a New Year's resolution kind of a way, but deeper than that. Who do I now want to become? What part of me do I really want to expand? What do I want to look back on when I review the whole of my life and say, oh yeah, I remember I kind of closed this off in 2017, and this is where I set my sights in 2018. And by this time next year, what is it that you're going to want to be saying like, wow, I really brought that. And with it being an 11 year, that is about us really embodying our mastery, which all of us are masters. All of us have this God spark, this spiritual spark within us. We were all born from that. So it doesn't matter what your religion is, or if you even have a religion. You came from something bigger, and that source, whatever you choose to call it, is what I feel is going to be amplified in 2018 with it being an 11 year. It's like you living in concert with the bigger part of you, this magical soup that makes up all of who, insert your name here, all of who you are. It can't all fit in this little tiny body. So there's so much available, but we have to kind of tidy up. You kind of get the sense of this from this card about death and rebirth and review and purge. It kind of speaks to what I was saying even about your physical home. That is a great place to start. Your physical body, great place to start. What is it that I could do to give myself more energy? What could I do to make my home feel like a safe haven and like a very special sacred place? It should feel sacred wherever you lay your head down and rest and rejuvenate for the next day that comes ahead. And there's lots that you can do just in picking up, tidying up, not having tons of closets that are over like chock full of stuff that you never even use. Consider whether you could donate some of that. Maybe it's time with you is done. And as you do that, you literally energetically clean up your space. And some of you may choose that you want to go on something like a nutritional cleanse, or even to amp up the amount of water that you're taking in. Looking into different systems of eating. I'm checking out Ayurvedic right now and really enjoying it. It works for me because it's aligned with astrology, so I love it. So just be curious about what you could do to kind of bring about this new level of who you are going to become in this next year, because the energies are queuing up for it. And this whole process, these cards that I'm doing this week, this is what brings the seed of joy. This is what allows the bird song within you to come forth, is when you can embody the message from this card. Really thinking about what maybe has passed its time and needs to go, and what do I want to grab hold of now? What do I want to set my sights on going forward? That there's a lot of reason to have a lot of excitement around conversations such as that. Okay. The second card is from the Healing Oracle deck. And these always have kind of a glyph on them, and I tend to do a little attunement, so I feel like we'll do that again. And we have had this just recently. Sever the agreement of pain. And it's got those 3 arrows. Feels just like the 3 of Swords to me from the Tarot, which is kind of about this heartache and what have you. It says this glyph can sever an agreement of pain and suffering between the members who have made the agreement and the user of the glyph. So if you will, if you chose this card, and if you can, where you are right now, if you could just close your eyes for just a minute, and let's take a couple of deep breaths together, okay? Okay. And just get really centered right here in your body. And I really want you to drop your attention down to your heart space, okay? And also put some attention in your belly area, please. Your solar plexus. And as I'm reading these words, I want you to experience really a very large machete coming across and cutting any cords that are connected to these areas, particularly the heart and the belly area. As I read this affirmation, I separate myself from any participation in any agreement of pain and suffering, with the understanding that this is not for the highest good. We're going to read this 3 times. This next time I want you to repeat after me here, okay? Focusing in on your heart and your belly area. I separate myself from any participation in any agreement of pain and suffering, with the understanding that this is not for the highest good. And repeat after me once more. We've got 3 arrows here, so I separate myself from any participation in any agreement of pain and suffering, with the understanding that this is not for the highest good. And so it is. And you see, you can do these types of little activities anytime you want. You don't need somebody like me to say these words to you. You can say to yourself whatever words come to you, that I want to drop all the chains that are tying me, or rather holding me back from the potential I'm looking to fulfill. You know, any words that come to you, any imagery. And you don't even have to say it out loud. You can say it in your mind. You can say it when you're in the car. You can say it when you're riding the elevator at work. You are the keeper of this huge energy field that is you on this earth. You carry it around like a huge sphere all the way around you. When you're feeling vulnerable, it tends to contract in. You're doing that out of kind of a self-protection mode. And when you're feeling expanded, which is what your greater spirit wants for you as often as possible, you open up room physically in your energy field for more exciting, passionate, enjoyable things. That's the key this week, enjoyment. I want that for you. Your spirit wants that for you. So we just have to say the word, and we drop this idea of pain and suffering and fear and resentment and frustration. Any of these things that are holding us back, we can say it, we can name it, and we can say, I will not allow these things to sit in my energy field anymore. I won't. The birds are singing this week, and I want some of that. You deserve it. Everybody deserves that. Even people who might have done some bad things, they're still all souls. They're still all from the same spark. They're still all from Source. And in the words of Jesus, they know not what they do. And so it's not our job to be the judge of that, because if we act as the judge, then we immediately have a tie that is bound to that person because we have put it there, thinking that it is our job to either make them suffer or get them to repent and see their ways, or any other number of things. And that truly is only a journey that that person can make for themselves, and they may not ever even be ready in this lifetime to face that. But no matter what has been done, that is their journey, even if they have been the perpetrator against you. Terrible. It's terrible. But that is their journey. And so if you can let what this card is saying is you sever those agreements when you, in essence, energetically forgive by simply severing it and saying, I can't hold on to this anymore because it's holding me back, it's tying me down. In some cases, for some people, it literally drowns you. It drowns you. And this week is about enjoyment. So as much as I didn't want to make this reading heavy, this is a heavy card. You're holding some things that your team is like, they don't need to anymore. Please let it go. Please sever it. Please be done with it. And so I want to encourage you, just as we've done with this little tiny exercise, that is all it takes, is for you to make that commitment to saying, no, I cut these chains, I sever these cords, I take out these arrows that have been thrown at me, I take them out of my energy field and my physical body. I will not have them anymore. And I cleanse myself and I heal those wounds. And I'm moving on. I have my sights set somewhere different now. Because as you have these kinds of agreements that are set up unbeknownst to you, the problem is that it keeps you tied there. It keeps those arrows in and they fester. And then you find yourself getting pissed off at things that have nothing to do with whatever's going on in that situation. A lot of times they relate back to this old pain that is just so ready to be done. It's so ready to be healed. And the salve is right there waiting for you. But you have to be the one to be the keeper of your energy field and your physical body, and to say, I forgive all that because I have to for myself. And I have to realize that that other person or people who were involved, it is their journey to figure that out for themselves. But for my part, I'm taking the arrow out. If they choose to keep theirs embedded for the rest of time, that is their choice. But you have the choice to take it out. So do it. Allow that bird song to flow through to you and not waste another minute of your energy on anything that has caused pain and suffering, fear, frustration, resentment. It's just not worth it. That's what your team is saying here. Okay? All right, our final card. Wow, that was heavy. Our final card is from the Angel Tarot by Doreen Virtue, and this is interesting. The tide is like shifting way to the other end. This amazing Nine of Water. This is the wish comes true card. It says your wish comes true, concerns fade away, a love of life. And beneath the surface here of all the water, the ocean, there are these goblets, these chalices that are filled with treasures. And there's the mermaid. She actually in this deck looks like Doreen Virtue, back when she had blonde hair. And this, she's just floating. Her head is above the waves. But what she knows is that beneath the waves lies all of this treasure, lies all of this promise. And so the bird song for you this week, the source of enjoyment comes from knowing that this energy is actively operating beneath the surface for you. So I do get the feeling about the word manifestation here, that in terms of abundance, and abundance can mean many things. So, but basically the tide of good fortune, and I don't want you to get too fixated on money. I want you to think about the true meaning of the word contentment and enjoyment. And let's say when you do get a lot of money, when this has happened to you, when you have some disposable income that comes in, and then you go and you're able to purchase something, or, you know, if you routinely purchase even little things because you think, oh, this will make me happy, and this, and this, and this. Isn't it true, if you're being honest with yourself, that when you get it, when it's in your hands, or you're turning the key of that dream car, or you're opening the lock of your home that you've worked so hard to get, after a period of time, do you find yourself kind of back where you were? Like, well, now I need this. Welcome to Capricorn energy. That's what we have this week. We're always wanting more. It's the human condition. We make more money, so we spend more money. The wants keep going. But what your team is wanting for you this week is this sense of birdsong, is enjoyment now. Now. Contentment right here. In this moment, I'm talking to you. I want you to say to your computer that you're looking at, or your phone, I want you to say out loud right now, what is it that you are completely content about in your life right now? You don't need to do another thing about that. You're done. You have it. And that's what this card is saying. Everything in your life. Truly, this is the way energy works. Everything that you're wanting is already there. It's a matter of you lining up with a sense of contentment with where you're at, no matter what that is. And what you know is that you've changed from the beginning of this year to here. You've changed. So what is it that's changed? What is it that's better, that's richer? Where are those riches? Because this card is indicating they're right there. You've already manifested them. But the point is that you don't need to keep looking at it. You don't. She's got her head popped above the water. That's what I'm really taken with for this reading. A sense of contentment comes when you just simply know. It's like knowing that I have this house on Sunshine Avenue in Newport, New Hampshire. I have this. And every day I can return from work, which is like 40 miles away from me. I can return home and know it's sitting here waiting for me. It's that kind of feeling. It's knowing that, yes, the money is going to go into my checking account on this day. I don't need to keep looking at it. I've placed the order in Amazon and I know I'm going to get it 2 days later. I don't keep looking at it because I just know. And your team wants to expand this to whatever else you've asked for that you feel would bring you a sense of contentment and joy. And knowing it's already there, but you need to not be fixated on, is it there? Is it there? Is it there? Because then do you feel it's like a sense of lack in not trusting, I'm not sure it's coming. And this is kind of the secret behind the secret. It's a sense of trust and belief that everything that you want to bring you joy is there. But I want to stress here that your team is not pointing out things in terms of, they're not wanting to point you at material things. Material things make us happy for like these little segments of time. They want long-lasting happiness for you. They want the cups that are brimming over at the bottom and there to be numerous ones of them. And so true happiness comes when we have things like the strong relationships, when we have a sense of love, when we have a sense of respect, when we have a sense of, contentment in our work. It's less about materialistic things. That's my beef with the movie and the book, The Secret, is that it's so focused on material aspects of life. And this is about you just feeling the bird song, no matter what you've got. Because you're here, you're breathing, you're listening to this video, so most of you, I'm guessing, have your eyesight. You have a beating heart. You have somewhere that you're living. You have some way that you're getting food, most likely, and hydration. And so it becomes about those other pieces that fulfill you, that sustain you, where you can get really present in what's really, really making me content here, now. Because just know the material stuff is only gonna last for so long. You place an order at Amazon, you get it 2 days later, guaranteed within, I would say, less than a month. You're like, me, whatever. It doesn't hold its luster for that long. Not compared to things that we put effort into in order to craft them and make them resonant within our experience. Things like the joy of doing a job well done at whatever you do for work, or the joy of putting work into your relationships and making them a focus for yourself, and the joy that you experience with those other people. Those are long-lasting ties that can bring a true sense of contentment, of redoing your morning routine so that you have a whole segment of sacred time where you go through these processes of things to discover about yourself and to just listen and write in a journal and take in anything that's new, anything that gets you started on the right foot for your day. Those are things that bring immense contentment. Taking a moment in the middle of your day to go outside and sit under your favorite tree. Or just going outside and taking a big, if you work, in an area like near woods or what have you, where you can just really take in this earth and everything that it is. And even in the city, that has its own smells, its own vibe, that can be so enriching and so exciting. So lots to be thankful for, those who chose this card. But it's just about getting your contentment focused on something deeper than the material, and to just trust that it's all there and it's been waiting for you to just feel it. Because you see, she's not looking at it, but she knows it's there. She feels it. So she doesn't have to look at it. That's the sense of contentment I'm talking about. The things that make you feel content, that you don't have to strive for, and you don't have to keep checking. Is it here? Is it here? That's something that we're like pursuing. And this, I feel, is contentment, that it's right here, right now. All right, everybody, find the bird song this week. What a blessing this is for us to finally have this kind of a week. So take advantage of it, because we have very intense and sometimes misunderstood Scorpio energy. But I will say that is one of my favorite signs, so I'm really looking forward to it. But let's keep the harmony, let's keep the groove going of balancing the scales of Libra, and doing that through high achievement of allowing the bird song to fill our hearts, our homes, and everything in our experience for this coming week. Take care, and I will see you next weekend.